So Politico has some pretty facepalm-worthy news for us. You really couldn't make this up if you tried. Mark Halperin is a guy who was hashtag MeToo'd not too long ago. I don't know all the specific accusations against him. I know one of them was he would get hard and then push his erect penis up against women that he worked with. And this was all, they weren't consenting. A lot of the Me Too allegations, I feel like many of them can fall into gray areas of like, oh, it was a bad attempt at flirtation or whatever. For him, it doesn't seem like that at all. For him, it seems to go way above and beyond and to clear harassment. So, whenever we have those conversations about the Me Too stuff, I would just caution that you should go on a case-by-case basis and see, hey, does this make sense? Does this not make sense? In the case of Mark Halperin, what I know about the Mark Halperin case, and I don't know all the specifics because I don't want to learn about this guy's fucking awkward, gross sexual things. What I know is it wasn't just like a, little thingy here and there. It was little thingy, perhaps not the proper time to say that in the context of this story. It was quite significant issue. But, so this guy is trying to make a comeback into politics. He was, as with a lot of these people, he was kind of like pushed to the side a while ago. There's a fly in here, and that's pretty annoying. Especially because it might go across the camera and fuck up the focus. But anyway, I digress. He's trying to get back into politics, and he knows the way to do that is, well, I gotta like tiptoe back in. I can't just, dive right in the deep end and just have my face on TV or whatever. So he's done like a Sirius XM radio interview here and there. I think he was with Michael Smearconish, who's the most boring person on the planet. And then the other thing is, I'll do a book. I'll do a book. So what are they going to do? It's just writing on a page. You don't have to see me. So I'm tiptoeing my way back. Tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. So now let me give you the specifics on this. This is from Politico. Mark Halperin has signed a deal with Regan Arts to publish a book called How to Beat Trump, America's Top Political Strategist on What It Will Take. The publisher will announce Monday. The book is Halperin's first major project since multiple accusations about him were published in the height of the Me Too movement in October 2017. The book will be released in November of this year. Halperin interviewed more than 75 top Democratic strategists for the book, including Jill Alper, David Axelrod, Bob Bauer, Donna Brazile, James Carville, Tad Devine, Anita Dunn, Karen Dunn, Adrian Elrod, Jennifer Granholm, Ben LeBolt, Jeff Link, Jim Margolis, Mike McCurry, Mark Mellman, Amanda Renteria, John Sasso, Kathleen Sebelius, Bob Shrum, Ginny Terzano, and David Wilhelm. Okay. He knows the way to get back in is to play on that anti-Trump sentiment. Hey, you guys want a Trump bad? You want to do a book on that? Trump bad. Trump bad. And they're like, Trump bad, bro. I'm in. But the most infuriating part of this, all of these people who he interviewed on how to beat Trump are the people who lost to Donald Trump. Like I said, you can't make this stuff up if you tried. I'm not sure there's any other profession where there's less accountability than when it comes to political strategists in Washington, D.C. The exact same people who botched it and lost to a reality star buffoon are the same people who are like, step aside, bro. We're the strategists. We're the experts. The only thing they'd be qualified to talk about is how to lose to Donald Trump. You would honestly be better off taking all of their advice and doing the exact opposite. The exact opposite. These people are so bad that they couldn't be the most beatable candidate in U.S. political history. Now, this next tweet I'm going to show you is related to this. Take a look at what Sam Stein is saying is in the mind of Democratic strategists today. Democrats are privately pushing polling showing that going after Trump's Twitter addiction and accusing him of being ineffective because of it may be the party's most effective message. I oftentimes joke on this show, and it's partly serious, partly joking, of this caricature of goofballs who are like, I agree with Trump on policy, but man, do I not like his mean tweets. I'm against him because of he's so impolite and uncivil on Twitter. The Democrats want to make that a centerpiece of their strategy moving forward against Trump. They literally want to move to, he's on Twitter all the time, and that's bad. It's bad that he's on Twitter. And notice the wording. He's ineffective as a leader because he's on Twitter. Ineffective. Ineffective. Not fundamentally wrong about the agenda he's pushing. Ineffective. That means you don't necessarily disagree with him on the fundamentals of what he's doing. You just think he's not good at implementing it properly. Oh my God. They're hopeless. They're goddamn hopeless. Are you kidding me? If I were to craft a strategy that's the worst possible strategy for Democrats, this would be it. He's on Twitter a lot, and he's impolite there, and it's bad. It's bad. You think people knew that before he got elected the first time. All he did was tweet day in, day out insane stuff. It turns out that wasn't a deal breaker for people. How do they not get this? Oh my God. Any strategy but this is the opposite of the strategy that you should do. And these are the people who are weighing in on how to beat Trump. By the way, this is why they're shoving Biden down your throat. This is why they're shoving Kamala down your throat. That's the ideology. That's the last gasps of neoliberal centrism. That's what that is. Biden is just repping it. Kamala's trying to cover it up a little bit and act like, I'm kind of like Bernie. But those are the last gasps of neoliberal centrism. Man. You couldn't craft a situation that was worse for this country. Donald Trump and a Republican Party that are crusaders for their agenda and on message 24/7, and a Democratic Party run by the same strategists that lost to Trump that still think they're serious people and you should listen to what they have to say. And the Democrats are still listening to them. To the point where they're stuck on Trump's Twitter bad as a strategy. So they're not bringing up the tax cuts for the rich and the tax cuts for corporations that screw regular people, raises taxes for everybody making $75,000 a year or less over a 10-year period. They're not talking about the Wall Street deregulation and the coming market crash. It's on the way. Believe me, it's definitely on the way. They're not talking about half of workers in America making $30,000 a year or less, or 76% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, or our D-plus infrastructure, which needs a total top-down rebuild. They're not talking about the fact that this party's totally bought and owned by the oil interests and fossil fuel interests, so they're pushing us further down the road of climate change to the point of no return. They're not talking about the bombing of 8 different countries, including, staying in Iraq, only withdrawing not even half the troops in Afghanistan when we should be getting out of Afghanistan. They're not talking about the push to do regime change in Iran, the push to do regime change in Venezuela, and resisting on that front, as this guy being the unhinged maniac that he is. They're not talking about the new Cold War and the ripping up of the weapons agreement that we had with Russia. They're not talking about any of that stuff. Trump's Twitter is bad. They're grifters, and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But since they're in elite circles, they think they're serious. The fact of the matter is, you're much more likely to get serious, substantive conversation about politics on YouTube. On YouTube. It's embarrassing.